No more brilliant mind than the man standing to my left. If you care about sports and the sport of basketball, turn up your volume, dial into this conversation. Rick, not only do you know a lot about basketball, but you know a lot about the history of the game. So let's talk about the most important and transcendent basketball conversation that there is, the GOAT conversation.
Yep.
How much is LeBron James helping his GOAT case with his performances this season?
He's not. He's not. If
I did all of that. All that setup.
Yeah.
50,000 points, 17 and 20, best record the last 6, MVP campaign, and you gonna sit here and tell me he's not?
He's not. And LeBron would actually agree with me that he's not, based on what he has already said. Because if it was a matter of longevity and cumulative stats, then he would have been chasing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all this time, and he would still be trying to catch him in terms of all of the accomplishments that Kareem had. Yes, he's taken the scoring title. There's a couple other things that Kareem did that LeBron hasn't. 6 titles, for example. So, and league MVPs.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT because he went to 6 for 6 and never lost. Then we're excluding the fact that LeBron James went to more championships. We're excluding the fact that LeBron James has more points. We're excluding the fact that LeBron James has more assists, that he has more rebounds, that he has quite literally more of every aggregate statistic than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan does have more championship wins, not championship appearances. So we're excluding everything that LeBron James continues to do because he'll never be a better Jordan than Jordan. But nobody will.
Well, no. Not a better Jordan. A better basketball player.
But he's proven to be a better basketball player.
No,
statistically.
No,
You got more boards, you got more rebounds, you got more assists.
And more turnovers. By far. We seem to eliminate those. My point is, Michael Jordan, at his best, was the best that we've ever seen. Winning championships. That 9-10 year period where he won 10 consecutive titles, won 6 championships, was the finals MVP in all 6 of them, and was NBA first team. Like, you just can't beat that.
But here's my question, Slick.
Yeah.
What about all the other years? Michael Jordan played for more than just from 1990 to 1999.
Sure.
Like, he did play 85, 86, 87, 88. He did lose to the Pistons, Slick.
Sure.
I'm not making this up.
No, you're not.
So how come we exclude the beginning years, we exclude the Wizards years,
we don't.
and we only talk about them 10?
We don't, because that's when he hit a zenith that no one has ever reached before. It's as simple as that. In that period was when he established that he was the greatest thing we'd ever seen. And so we're not discounting the other years, but we're also not giving credit for, look, LeBron hasn't been great every single year, right? He's had his down years. He's had his down periods. He's just been around longer. And I'll go back to this. Look, when we talk about the greatest point guards of all time, John Stockton, far and away the most assists. He's generally not in the conversation.
Like, would you suggest this?
It's Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson is like 7th on the list.
We could suggest this, that LeBron James's floor is higher than Michael Jordan's floor, but Michael Jordan's ceiling is higher than LeBron James' ceiling. Because Michael Jordan at 39, 40, we saw it in Wizards years. Shout out to a 55-point game here and there, but he wasn't doing 26, 8, and 8. So we have to also acknowledge the fact that LeBron James is still doing it at a significantly higher clip.
Well, this is the problem that I have when we go to statistics, is because over the decades, over the eras, the way the game is played has changed. And so the meaning and the significance of the statistics has changed.
Brilliant.
LeBron James, it is a discredit to what he has been and what he was at his best to suggest that this LeBron James, because statistically it looks the same, that he's the same player. He's so smart. He's done so much work to maintain his ability that it is impressive as hell that he's still doing what he's doing.
But let me push back. Let me push back on this.
Bring it. Bring it.
I would suggest that the game from top to bottom is significantly more competitive today than it was then. Here's why I would suggest that. Because scouting is better. Because resources are better. Because development, it might not necessarily be better based upon the AAU circuit, but what I would suggest is a player like Giannis Antetokounmpo, he wouldn't have been in the NBA back in 1990. He wouldn't have been in the NBA because we wouldn't have found him. A player like Luka Doncic, he wouldn't have been in the NBA back in 1990 because we wouldn't have found him. A player like Nikola Jokic, he wouldn't have been in the NBA back in 1990 because we wouldn't have found him. So what I'm suggesting is 3 of maybe the best 6 to 7 players in the NBA today wouldn't have been in the NBA back in 1990 because we wouldn't have found him. Again, I'm a dual passport holder, so I'm very fascinated both with the game locally and the game globally. So what I'm simply suggesting is, though you are incredibly accurate and correct that statistically the numbers are more grotesque today because the game of basketball defensively is played differently, Michael Jordan didn't have to deal with Nikola Jokic. They were still somewhere in Serbia. He didn't have to deal with Luka Doncic's. They were somewhere in Slovenia. He didn't have to deal with Giannis's. They were somewhere in Nigeria.
Can I push back now?
Push back, big dog, push back.
Because it balances out. Who are the American players today who are at the top of the food chain? Who are the MVP candidates?
The Jason Tatums, the Ja Morants, the Anthony Edwardses.
It's kind of, right? That's what swung, is the development of American players is not what it once was. And so, yes, we've got foreign players coming in. We've got globally, we are capturing all the talent in the world, but it balances out that the American talent is not at the same level.
Let's head to the desk real quick. Slick. Let's head to the desk. That was a great warm-up. Y'all are coming into a locomotive that is moving.
We can't beat
full
that.
speed. Like this train is moving fast right now.
I'm about to walk up there because I want to get in this conversation. So before you start, Acho, I just got a question. Who's your GOAT?
It's Michael Jordan.
And you know, but Slick, you know what though?
After
the whole
all
time
that
up
on your
there,
knees?
I'm like,
It's so good. You know, the number of hernias around the country right now by people that are trying to lift LeBron into that spot.
You sat down for LeBron James.
It's Michael Jordan.
So good.
But here, what I refuse to do, it's Michael Jordan for different reasons.
Yeah.
What I hate is this, and I've said this before. I read this in a book called But What If We're Wrong? And they simply said, and I'll put it in my own words, the reason that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James is not because Jordan is better than LeBron James, but because we use Michael Jordan as the barometer for greatness. And we measure everybody up to Michael Jordan, and there will never be a better Michael Jordan than Michael Jordan. What I'm simply saying is this. We have arbitrarily decided that 6 for 6, no game 7s, that is the mark of greatness. So unless you go to 6 for 6, no game 7s, you can't beat him. We excluded the fact that Jordan didn't make the playoffs as many times as LeBron James. He didn't make the NBA Finals as many times as LeBron James. I believe he had more first-round exits than LeBron James. But because we have arbitrarily decided that 6 for 6, no game 7s is the mark of greatness, nobody will beat that. What I believe that we should do, and then I'm done with it because James, Chase, please get in here and Rick, digest what I'm about to say, even you at home. We should have blindly said, hey, what does it take to be the greatest basketball player of all time? Decided that blindly. We should measure championships. We should measure MVPs. We should measure points. We should measure rebounds. We should measure assists. We should measure defensive player of the years. Decide that blindly. And then see who measures up to that. That's the best way to decide the GOAT. Instead, we've taken the GOAT and said, who's measured up to him? We should have just decided the characteristics that make somebody the GOAT and then said, okay, is it Kareem? Is it Kobe? Is it Shaq? Is it Tim Duncan? Is it LeBron? Is it Jordan? Is it Bill Russell? But instead, we've painted a GOAT and made everybody chase that. That's why I hate most people's ideology behind the conversation, James Jones.
I'm confused.
You know what's crazy? Mike will always be my GOAT. And I could sound a little biased up here. And I am absolutely respecting what LeBron is doing. Because at the age of 40, with this longevity of what we're watching LeBron James do right now, is absolutely special. But when you talk about the GOAT debate, Michael Jordan, number one, was probably the best athlete that we've ever seen on that basketball court, on top of having all the accomplishments that Michael Jordan has. And it's crazy because LeBron James is not the first one to have better stats than Michael Jordan. You understand what I'm saying? Like, when people talk about the GOAT, they immediately want to go to all the stats LeBron has. He's not the only one, not the first one to have more stats than Michael Jordan. And we continue to say Mike is the GOAT. because of what we seen Michael Jordan do and how he looked on that basketball court, number one. I believe I can fly. You understand what I'm saying? The fadeaway, everybody. A lot of people tried to mimic Michael Jordan and put Michael Jordan's game into their game. I don't know if it's too many players in today's age, even the young players, that's trying to put LeBron's game into theirs. When you listen to a lot of the young players that's playing basketball today, they say they want to look like Melo and PG and all them boys. Mike was different on the court on top of all the stuff he accomplished. When we talk GOAT debates, we instantly want to say 50,000. A lot of people got more stats than Mike and points and all that than Mike. But Mike is still always labeled the GOAT because of what we've seen him do with our own two eyes and his accomplishment. It will never change for me, even though LeBron is absolutely special, but it will never change.
That chase in and of itself is the problem. Because how can you suggest that while a player who is competing to be the GOAT is currently playing, you're saying it'll never change? Imagine watching a race, and one runner is still running, and you're like, no, he already won. But I'm like, wait. But the other dude's running. Okay. The clock is still running, and James like, no, the race is over.
But he's not running. But he's not running fast enough to catch up.
It's not over yet.
It's about to be over.
It's not over yet.
How many more titles is he going to win?
Yeah.
This year, they look favorable in the West.
It's not even about titles and MVPs for me.
Okay, but is he going to be?
Wait.
So what's it? You hear this, Chase?
You guys are all this high-level talk. You guys are on your butts over there for LeBron, but then you say it's Mike. It's pretty simple for me, man. Like, the longer you play at a highly consistent level, the more chances you have to become the GOAT, right? LeBron played 22 seasons. Jordan played 15, all right? What it comes down for me, Jordan in 15 seasons is 6-0, 5 MVPs, 6 Finals MVPs in 7 less seasons than LeBron James. Like, to me, I take it like there's never been another player, and there never will be, like Michael Jordan to have a span of 15 years like that. That's bottom line what it is. You saying, well, you know, what about the MVPs? What about the... Dude, he played 7 less seasons than LeBron James.
So we applaud that?
And he's 6...
We applaud you for playing less?
What if he played the amount of seasons that LeBron had? It wouldn't even be even close.
No. We can't do that.
I just did it.
Because, hold on, Slick.
I just did it.
We can't do that because nobody forced Mike to retire.
I did it, though.
No, I didn't. You didn't force Mike to retire. I didn't force Mike to retire. And when Mike chose to retire, shout out Akeem, because I needed my Nigerian brother to win them 2 chips. But nobody forced Mike to retire. When Mike came back, because he did play for the Wizards. We cannot act like that didn't happen. He did play for the Wizards. So I'm not going to sit here and suggest that Michael Jordan only played those 6 years where he went to 6 for 6, no game 7s. Now, shout out to the whole Jordan family. Shout out to the Jordan brand. Shout out to you, Jordan. Shout out to SD. Shout out to all y'all, because I am family with y'all. But I will not ignore these statistics and these stats.
That's fine. That's fine. The reality is this conversation has been hijacked.
Okay.
Because what Michael Jordan did was he didn't just win the 6 championships in 7 years, right? Or 8 years. He also was a 10-time scoring champion. Mm-hmm. Like, he had the individual accomplishments. Yeah. If it was about one or the other titles, because that's what everyone's like, hey, he won 6 and he was and 2 3-peats, and how can LeBron ever measure up to that? Well, if it was about just the titles, then Bill Russell should have never left this conversation. Mm-hmm. But Bill Russell was never the two-way player that Michael Jordan was. He was a 10-time scoring champ, and he was Defensive Player of the Year, and routinely on the all-defensive team, right? If it was just about individual statistics, then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar should have never left the conversation. That's who LeBron James... Michael did both. He was an incredible individual statistically, and he won championships and led his team. Nobody's ever done it in that condensed period the way that he has. And it's not just the 6 years, it's the 10 years. I mean, so he retires and he comes back and he plays a 17-game season. That's the only year that he didn't win the scoring title. 10 years in a row he won the scoring title.
Really?
Like, that kind of dominance we just haven't seen. And the tell is, and I set it up there, is in 2016, what did LeBron James say that made him the greatest? He said, we came back from 3-1 to beat a 73-win team. we did something that had never been done before. Never mind that Kyrie Irving hit the shot that won the actual series. I did something that no one else has ever done before. That's what made me the greatest. Well, in the modern era, Michael Jordan has done multiple things that no one has ever done. He was the first to win Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same season. He's the only guy in the modern era to win, do a three-peat twice in a row with Finals MVP. Like, those are the things you just can't argue. By LeBron's own standard, we shouldn't be counting any of this because he's saying, no, 2016, when I did that, that's when it was over.
Like Rick is cooking.
Okay, so why should I be paying attention to all this?
What a conversation.
Come on now.
I love these conversations. I told y'all it was transcendent. I told y'all he
it.
was brilliant. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.